Hello everyone, I'm audible. Can you please raise your hand if I'm audible? Thank you. Let's give a few more minutes for others to join. All right, so let's wait for a few minutes, then we'll get started. Thank you, guys. Let's give one more minute. Seems like few students having the trouble in joining. We'll start in 1 minute. All right, guys. Good morning, everyone, and I welcome you all to this Capstone project discussion. As you all know that we are going to roll out the Capstone project to this batch, and this session is all about talking about the Capstone project and how it is going to be carried out and what is your roles and responsibilities, what type of a project it is, right? And how it is going to help you in your profile as well as part of experience. Also, it is going to give a very very good insights, and you will learn a lot in this project, right? So this project is all about the data analytics and clustering project. I will talk about each and every part of it. And yes, once again, I welcome you all to this Capstone project discussion. So let's get started. The first and the first and foremost thing is that you in your LMS when you log in, you will see. Give me a second. Let me. Okay. You will see some kind of left hand side. You will see this menu where you will find a project tab, right? So you can scroll it up and down. You will find a project, and once you click on that project tab, you will see something like this, right? So evaluation, practice, extra things like that, where you will find this crimes in India capstone project. I will talk more about the project. So here I'm trying to explain how to navigate the screens and how to get into this Capstone project in your LMS, right? So you need to click on this Crimes in India Capstone project. Once you click on that, you will see this kind of a screen, right? So in this screen, you will see the description of the project, right? And the important notes. I will talk about the notes and the phases, everything. So just try to understand the pages that you will see and how to proceed. So you will see this kind of a page on your screen, and what you need to do, you need to go through this description, right? So, and right hand side, you can see here, right? Give me a second. Let me take my pen here to highlight this point. So yeah, you need to go through all the description, and definitely you need to look into these important notes. Without looking into all these points, you will not be able to proceed. There are a lot of information. Each and every point, having a lot of information about how to proceed and things like that. And here you will see Evaluator Connect. So basically, this is not about asking a question or anything. Here you are going to paste your GitHub link, final link. I will talk about what is the final link and things like that. So basically, at the end of the project, once you are done with the project, you need to copy your GitHub link and paste here and send it, right? Once you send it, it will reach to the concerned department for the evaluation, right? You don't need to do anything else. You just need to load your work in the in the GitHub link, and the final link you need to paste here and send it. That's all you need to do, right? I'll come back to this point again. So first what we will do, I will discuss the points. Once we are done with that, we'll take questions. I'm sure you will have some questions right now, because you have already seen all those documents, like the input files and everything. So we'll have a lot of questions. Definitely, we are going to answer those questions. And first, let me complete this discussion. Hopefully, most of your questions will be clarified by end of this discussion. Even post that, if you have any questions, definitely we are here to answer those questions. Right? I want everyone to be very focused here so that you will get each and every point. All right. So let's begin. All right. So the next second. So this is the again one more screen, and if you are not I have not seen the LMS set. So this is the screen you will see, and here you will have the files, right? These are all input files. So you need to download and unzip those files and start working, right? Fine. This is about a logistic part. Now, first and foremost, important notes to students. You will find all this stuff, whatever I'm reading, right? You will find it in your LMS. First, yes, I'm hoping that you are all are aware of all this clustering, or I would say supervised, unsupervised machine learning. I think I only took your batch. I think 0522. Yes, I think I did. Fine. So first and foremost, the first point is basically to give an idea that how it is going to be carried out. As you know, this is a capstone project, and let's talk something else before getting into the first point. See, in real-time project, what happens in any company, whenever you go to any company, right? See what happens, they don't, neither your lead or a client is definitely going to give us some files, and we'll have some discussion with your leads or a manager that this is what the project is, and XYZ stuff needs to be done, right? So you will get a files only. Either you will scrape the data from some source or maybe some website, or some fetch the data through using SQL from some database, or you will get a CSV file, right? Any of the source doesn't matter, but end of it, you will have a data, right? And you will be given a task. What are all the tasks? Okay, give me a second. Okay, I am going to just give me a second. I have mentioned that wait until I finish this discussion, but still few students are keep on saying one or other thing. Okay. Yeah, let me get back to this case. You will be given a files. Okay, so doesn't matter how many files you will get. You will be given a task. Okay, these are the tasks you need to carry out, and these are the input files. All right. So when it comes to data analysis part, right, nobody is going to give you any help, because this is the analysis. If they are going to help you, they will do themselves, right? Understand this part. If they know what to do, if they are going to tell you, they will do themselves. Since they don't have a time, they don't have that bandwidth to take care of that project, that analysis part. That is why they are giving it to offshore or to the data scientist to do the analysis. What kind of analysis? That is apart from the task they are going to give. It is a data scientist's responsibility to dive deep inside and bring in more and more stories out of the data. Bring in more and more, analysis. So how and all they are going to do analysis, how and all you supposed to do, it is all up to you. They will give main points, what needs to be done. In between, if you are going to add value to it, if you are going to add more analysis to it, if you are going to tell a lot of stories, irrespective of whether they ask or not, it is going to add a value to the project. You will be basically highlighted that, okay, this such and such person is basically diving deep and trying to fetch as many as stories as possible from this project. So it is basically our responsibility as a data scientist, it is our responsibility to get those stories out of the data. There is no limitation in that. Data analysis is all about bringing stories. As much as the story you bring out of it, it's value addition. You need to keep this main point in mind, so that you don't stick to the only what we are asking, right? We need to always strive for more. So in that, during that journey, nobody is going to help you in the project. Nobody will help you in the project. Understand that part. Maybe here and there, some clarifications will be there, but definitely nobody is going to help you in the project. So To give that taste, to give that experience to all of you, we are rolling out this Capstone project. So keeping that in mind, in order to gain a proper experience, in order to gain the real experience, what I would say, right? You have to work on your own. If you're asking a questions, then there is no point, right? We are basically defeating the purpose. So you will have a lot of challenges, no doubt about it. You will sometimes feel that, okay, let me give up this project. You will reach that level, but do not do that. Okay, this is how the real projects work. So keep that in mind. So that's why we are not going to help, we are not going to give any support to any of the students. This is for your benefit only, all right? And this is not going to, let me tell you one more point, this is not going to be considered for your placement or anything. It's purely for your experience purpose, because our hiring partners will see all these kind of projects. You can add these projects in your resume as well. When you add this project in your resume, definitely they are going to ask a question in the interview. When they ask questions, you should be in a position to answer those questions. In order to answer those questions, you have to work on your own. If you're taking help from someone else, you will not experience that. If you don't experience, you will not be able to remember the answer. Ultimately, it boils down to rejection. Right? Everything is connected. You need to understand that point. For sure, whoever working professionals, they know that how projects work. They know that when it comes to project, they will get very minimum help. Right? They are already aware of it, experienced persons who are working in IT company. But for the non-technical students and freshers, this is how it happens in the real time. Okay. Fine. As I said, Capstone project, and absolutely no support will be given from technical team. And we request you not ask any questions on the Capstone project. All right. And don't feel that if any of our agents say that, okay, we will not help you in the Capstone project, don't feel bad. Okay, because they are instructed in that manner. Fine. Now let's move on to the second point. When you are analyzing any situation, if you don't get a proper data or information or in doubt of anything, you are free to make assumptions and proceed. So which means that in one of the first phase, to be precise, it's a data collection, data preparation phase. I will talk about that. So when it comes to data collection, right? So we don't get all the time 100% correct information. In that case, what we need to do? Don't be panicked. Okay, whatever the data I have collected, is it 100% accurate or not? You don't need to worry about that. It's about the analysis. It's not about a prediction, any salary or anything. It's not about a prediction. If it is a prediction project, then yes, you need to worry. It's about analysis. It's about finding the trends. So here, data plus or minus here and there, it's absolutely fine. But you need to make your assumptions in case you don't get the proper data, right? Make sure whenever you assume something, you must write what is your assumption. Let's say we are asking you to find out, collect the data like a literacy rate from all those states. So sometimes you don't get it for 1 year, second year, maybe 2-3 years. In that case, you have to assume something. What you are assuming, that you need to mention. Like how much percentage of a literacy rate increased in given state. So what is the percentage of literacy rate increase from last year to this year? So these are all the thought process you need to bring in. So what is your thought process? You need to mention. And we really don't care your accuracy of the data. Really, we don't care at all. But how you are going to assume it, on what basis, that you need to mention. We are absolutely fine, even though it's plus or minus 100, 200, thousands of data plus or minus, we are absolutely fine with it. Right? So that whatever the assumption you make, you write down in the Jupyter notebook, there itself, how you collected the data. So that when we are evaluating, we'll understand that what is your thought process. How did you arrive to that conclusion? So this is basically help us to evaluate you. If you randomly put some numbers, right, we don't know how you arrive to that number. Just to give an example, to give an idea, actually I suppose not to give this, but let's say 2020, okay, literacy rate is 78%, right? Any XYZ state. So now I don't have a data for 2021, 2022. So what I need to do in order to have a data here, right? In order to proceed. So I need to go back and check what was the literacy rate in 2019, 2018, and how much percentage it increased from one year to another year. So you take some average of that data or any analysis, any assumption, and fill those values. And you can proceed. So this is just an idea. This is what all about analysis. How you are going to analyze the data, and wherever data is required, which you don't get it, how you are going to fill in and make analysis. Right? So I'm just giving an example like that. If you think through, you will get a lot of such ideas. Then the third point, you can merge all the files or work on individually. It's up to you, right? It's up to you how you think and want to deal with it. As I said, you will be given a files. It is your responsibility how you want to merge it, right? So if you merge one way, is it going to help you? If you merge another way, is going to help you? It is your responsibility how you are going to merge the files, right? You need to think about it. It is going to take I would say, I'm saying upfront that it is going to take a lot of efforts, believe me, and it is going to give you a best result in future. Then you can make use of any column data for your analysis. There is no fixed procedure to follow as long as your analysis makes sense. If you have seen those files, there are many columns, and so much of data is present. You need to be very, very careful. When I say very, very careful, I mean it. It's not like just you took an overview of the data set and you proceed. Right? To give an example, there is one column, right? One column. So here X, some number 1, Y 2, Z say 20, right? So in the same column, you will see total. Total is 20 plus 2 plus 1, 23. So when you are collecting the data, right, when you already have a total, so you don't need to care about this. You can pick this guy for total data, right? So you need to watch this carefully. How you are going to find out this, that is up to you. Right? Then simple point, as I said, more the analysis is the better. Fine. Let me clear this screen to avoid any confusion. So yes, the next point, for every analysis, document your analysis within the Jupyter notebook. You don't need to create any Word or a Word document or Excel. In the same Jupyter notebook, we know how to comment it, right? So maybe you can use the 3 quotes. You can write all your documentation and close with 3 quotes. It will highlight in the red. We'll understand that this is the documentation, right? Within the Jupyter notebook, you can do that. Right? So wherever you make analysis, you just need to write what you are trying to do there. What was your thought process, what you are trying to achieve. Maybe it is a graph or a code. Wherever it is necessary, you can write it. You don't need to write a documentation for a data frame dot shape, right? So you don't need to mention, okay, what you are trying to do. We know that. when it comes to coding, maybe you're using a Python code or any NumPy or Pandas. If you're trying to achieve something, so that time we expect you to write what you are trying to do. Right? We don't expect a dot shape, dot describe, stuff like that. We don't expect that. It's absolutely fine. Then, clearly you need to mention phase number and a requirement number for every task to identify later. Right? Suppose say phase 1, and here we'll have requirement number 1.1. Right? So in that case, yes, in your Jupyter notebook, you have to mention phase 1, requirement number 1.1, right? So 1.2. So likewise, you have to highlight so that we can understand what this code belongs to, which requirement, right? If there is a necessary, you can combine the requirement numbers. If it is necessary, if you think it is going to make sense, right? Like in the phase 1, you are going to collect the data, right? So maybe you will collect literacy rate and population together. That time you can combine the requirement numbers, right? But just mention that what you are trying to do so that we will understand. So yes, you need to post your complete work in LMS as I mentioned, right? How you are going to submit, I will talk about it. And as I said, these marks will not be considered for your placement related activities. Right? And you can use any library, whatever. This is a capstone project. There is no limitation. We are not setting any boundaries here. Use whatever the libraries you want to use, whatever the model you want to use, whatever the code you want to write. It is up to you. So these are the important points you need to keep in mind. The next one, let's move on to the phase 1. In the phase 1, it's a data collection and data preparation part. So we have given good number of files. Those data are not sufficient. Those files do not contain some of the crucial information. We need to get the data from any source. You have to collect the data. That is a data collection part. Right? So you can collect data from anywhere. You are free to use any platform like Wikipedia, Google, or anything that you feel good, or anywhere. But mention the link from where you gathered those data. Maybe if you have gathered from Google, just mention from Google. Right? Any link? Yes, mention the link. It's not mandatory, but it is always good to have. In case we get in confusion that how did he get these numbers, so that we can go ahead and refer that, okay, this is where he got. We don't blame you. Right? Just to playing safe, what we call, right? So better you mention the link in the Jupyter notebook itself. And you can collect the data manually. Right? Yes, if you have some skill, web scraping skill, you can do it. We are not going to stop you. If you don't know, it's absolutely fine. That we meant to collect the data manually, because most of you may not be knowing web scraping tasks, right? Some may not have attended internship or may not know the things, and most of the time you don't get all the data in one link. It is up to you. Okay, that is what I'm trying to say. So manually you can collect and plug in into your file. Then data should be collected for the years mentioned in the files. In the input files, you need to check up to which year the data is being present. Right? Let's say to 2020, maybe 2011 to 2020. Okay. So in that case, population, literacy rate, area of each state, right? Anyway, this is not going to change anytime, only it's a fix most of the time, unless the states have been divided, like Andhra and some union territories, right? But Yeah, up to 2020, right? Suppose say in your given file, the data is available up to 2020. You need to collect population and literacy rate up to this year only. Okay. If you don't find a proper data, as I said, make your best judgment and fill it. It's absolutely okay. Do not worry about the data accuracy, as I mentioned. So in the first phase, you need to collect population of each state and union territories as well. All right. Literacy rate in each state, area, and any data you think that is going to help you for the analysis, you can go ahead and collect it. But definitely we need this. Minimum requirement is this. And whatever the data you are going to collect, you need to create a new file and keep above collected data. Maybe data collection, create one file, data collection, something like that. CSV file or Excel file, it's up to you. Later, anyway, you are going to merge. So data collection, and you can have a population, literacy rate, area. So likewise, years, every year you can collect the data and create a document. That is what this last point. This is going to take a lot of time. Right? It looks easy, but yeah, it takes time. So this is phase number 1, data collection and preparation part, right? When you say a preparation, again, it's about how we are going to combine those population, literacy rate, area with the existing files. Right? You have existing files which are given to you. So how and all you are going to prepare the data. That's where the real skill comes into play. The better the data preparation, the remaining journey will be so smooth, trust me. Fine. Phase 2. Phase 2. So state and union territory wise analysis. You need to be very careful as this phase is whole state or union territory wise analysis, not district wise. Every point is very important. It is not a district wise analysis. It is a state or UT wise analysis. So when you say not district wise, you need to understand what are all the data you need to collect. What are the data you need to merge from different files. You may not be merging all the files. Maybe you are not, some of the files not at all useful. Right? So this is where you need to get into each and every file we have given to you and see all the columns, which columns will help you to analyze state or union territory wise, not district wise. It is up to you which column you want to keep or delete to make proper analysis. Right? Lot of thought process needed. Then the requirements are, these are the requirement numbers. So what and all you need to analyze. Analysis of literacy rate versus total crimes. Right? Understand total crimes. Analysis of type of crime versus each state versus literacy rate. Right? Type of crime versus each state. Type of crime versus literacy rate. Right? So this is the analysis, how crime in each state, which crimes are more, right? How literacy rate is impacting the crime in each state, which state is having a lowest literacy rate, how it is impacting crime. So that those are the analysis you are going to make here. Analysis of year-on-year total crime rate. Year-on-year total crime rate. How crime rate is being increased year-on-year. Analysis of area versus overall crime. If the area is small, will the crime rate increases, decreases? How area is being, what is the impact of area when it comes to crime. Then population versus overall crime. Population versus overall crime. So will the population impacts a crime in that particular state or any states, because it's a state-wise analysis. If less population, will crime decreases? So those are the analysis you are going to make here. Then each state crime report, you have to prepare each state crime report. What and all you observe here, right? You have to prepare a document for that. Right? There is no fixed format. There is no template here. You can write on your own words in the notebook itself, right? Which is absolutely fine. What you are observing, what is impacting, what is not impacting, anything, there is no limitation. That's the phase 2. The next one is phase 3. Here you are going to deal with a SQL. SQL. Create separate table for each file and give meaningful name. When you are inserting, make sure you are not inserting column name in the table, right? What I mean by saying this, see in your file, suppose say your file is having X name, Y and Z, right? And you will have a data here. So when you insert, right, what happens? These column names will also get insert. And you don't even realize that. So make sure that you are not inserting this column name. That's how you need to write the SQL. You need to insert only records. This is what I meant in this point. All right. That is your responsibility, how you are going to insert the records. We all know how SQL works and how table needs to be created and data needs to be inserted. Yes, the requirement numbers as follows. You will have a file, right? So these are very straightforward requirements, nothing complex at all. Insert the records from this file, right, into table name that you can decide what name you want to give. Then yes, these requirements are self-explanatory. There is nothing hidden in that, nothing complex in understanding these requirements. And next, this file data need to be inserted, and once you insert, so what and all you need to do, right? Straightforward requirements. Right, same thing. Again, here you need to be very careful which columns you are going to insert. I have mentioned specifically which columns data you need to insert. So yes, these are the requirements when it comes to SQL operations. And you can use any graphs, it's up to you, right? And you need to make sure that store about data, result of in data frame and all, you need to understand this, right? Hey, just give me a second. I want to make sure that okay, so this needs to be 3.8.2, okay, 3.8.2. Okay, sorry about that. Maybe I missed this. So you are going to write a query to find this data, right? Show this and store above data in data frame and analyze district, right? Which appears 3 or more than 3 years, right? So this is 3.8. Okay, so make sure that you note down this point. Fine. That's about the SQL part. Then the phase 4, unsupervised learning. See, we have discussed unsupervised machine learning, right? We have discussed K-means, right? Hierarchical industry clustering and DB scan, right? So 3 clustering techniques we discussed. Now it is up to you which one you use, right? So what is this clustering, a task? See, the idea here is that which districts have a lot of crimes or moderate crimes or peaceful areas. We need to basically separate those areas depending upon the sensitivity of those areas, so that authorities, higher authorities or government can take action. Maybe they can deploy more force to avoid those crimes. Maybe they can take out some police force or any force from the peaceful area, deploy in other state, other district, right? So anyway, it is not our concern. Our concern is to create 3 clusters. Before that, what are all those clusters needs to have? So let's check this note. This phase requires your general knowledge. As I said, crime is, yes, we all see every day one or other crimes happens everywhere, not only in India, everywhere throughout the world, right? So we know we have some kind of idea who does this, in which area it happens, right? Where there is no jobs, and we know all these things, right? So this is basically what our knowledge that we need to implement here. And your thought process to merge right data sets and right columns, very, very important. So which columns data will help you to decide sensitivity of the area. So collecting quality data is a key factor to create meaningful clusters and analysis, right? So it is your general knowledge. You need to bring in general knowledge and the thought process that you are having with respect to crime. And assumption, you were given various crime data sets. Just imagine your lead has given you all those data sets, right? Once you collect all the right information. So various data sets that contain all the districts, in each state. And you were asked to provide below data to the higher authorities for further action. So you need to create 3 clusters here. Sensitive areas. So what are all those districts where a lot of crimes happening? That is sensitive area. Moderate areas where not less, not more, we'll say average, right? So that kind of a districts, and peaceful areas where very, very less crimes happens in those districts. So these 3 clusters we need to create, right? And the information of each cluster data needs to be kept in separate data frame, right? Create data frame for each cluster that shows data according to the sensitivity of the area. Means one data frame, right, should have sensitive districts, right? Another one should have moderate and peaceful. You will get all those districts. Then the next one, yes, once you have that data in separate data sets, you can analyze your clusters and prepare a report that explains all your observations. Like, just to give an example, what is impacting more crimes in sensitive areas? Why there is more crime in the sensitive areas? The relationship you need to check. Or anything that you feel that will make sense. What needs to be done to reduce the crime? So in order to understand this, you need to check peaceful areas. How they are related? Why it is peaceful? What is impacting? That you need to, can you see whether this same thing you can apply on this district? So that is analysis. And most safe and unsafe districts. Most, I'm highlighting this, most safe and most unsafe districts. From which cluster you are going to pick, that is up to you. And so these are just example. Anything that you think that, okay, that will help you in the analysis, that will help higher authorities to focus. So you can do any kind of analysis, it's up to you. But make sure it makes sense. If you want to use some graphs, anything. And the last point is, yes, the overall report you need to prepare. Overall report. Minimum 1,000 words. Minimum 1,000 words. You write however you want. We really don't care the template or the format. Even if you are writing your report in the word pad, notepad, that is absolutely fine. Or you can keep in the Jupyter notebook also. Right? Whatever you are working on here, definitely you will get some information, lot of information, not some. You'll get a real-time idea that what is happening in India and how crimes are increasing. On what basis, what is impacting. Those knowledge you will be able to gain. And whatever you understand, whatever you analyze, you just need to write in your own words. We don't expect any fancy words here, any complex jargons. You can write on your own words. Absolutely fine. So yes, that's phase 4. And the last point is the duration and submission method. So the maximum duration allowed is 3 weeks for all the 4 phases. 3 weeks is the time given to you. Sorry. As I said, zero help is provided. And how you need to submit this? What you need to do, you need to create a repository, right? Like a GitHub account, right? Let me show you this. So this is our GitHub account, as you all know. So this is a repository. Files is one repository. Theory notes, like let's say you have to create one new repository like NLP, likewise. Suppose say this is your Capstone project, India crime, right? And here you are going to upload your Jupyter notebooks and any documents, any files, anything that is related to the project. And you need to copy this link, that particular folder or repository link, and you have to send it to us. Right? That is what this point. So for each phase, maintain a separate Jupyter notebook. Just give me a second, guys. Sorry. So we have 4 phases, right? Data preparation, SQL analysis, and clustering. So phase 1, right? Phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, right? 4 Jupyter notebooks, definitely you need to have in your repository. On top of this, if you are creating extra files, your data collection will be there. Maybe after merging, you will create one more file, right? Lot of files you may need to create. So those files also you can upload in the same link. So here you will have link, but everything should be in the one folder, Capstone folder, right? So no need to upload any data files. So we have given you files, right? 9 or whatever the files. I think more than that. So I have not counted it. So you don't need to upload input files which were given to you, but your output must be visible in the Jupyter node. Whenever you execute, it will show output, right? So that thing needs to be uploaded so that we can easily evaluate. We don't need to run your code. But what happens when you are analyzing, when you are generating a graph, right? Sometimes it takes huge space. And GitHub will have some kind of a restriction, size issue. If at all you get into that situation, if at all. So what you need to do? If there is any size issue, you can upload in your G drive or any location and share that location in the node. Right? So if you get into that situation, what you need to do, you need to create one node, something like a README, right? Or maybe any notepad, just mention README, something like that. So inside that inside that maybe notepad or anything, right? So there you can mention, right? So you can mention the location of the files that you are storing and just write a note that, okay, in this link, you will find such and such documents. If at all you get into size issue, otherwise it's not required. Fine. The last point, share the current Capstone folder GitHub link, final version. See what happens, you work 1 week, until 1 week you feel everything is correct. When you started in the second week, you realize that, okay, some mistake you have done, right? You can go back and correct. So until you are satisfied, at the end, last day also, you can send your work. Don't send, week wise or anything. We need everything in once, right? And where you need to submit, as I mentioned, that evaluator connect. Let me go back here. Here in your LMS itself, you'll be able to see this. So in the send message, what this text is there, right? You have to paste that link. Right. So yes, this is about Capstone project discussion. So let's see any valid questions here. So everyone has to work as a individually, right? It's an individual work. So there is no team or anything. So if there is a team, then what you are going to, if only one person is working in the team, the others will not work. First, you need to have all the knowledge, right? First, you need to gain the knowledge. There is no team. So see, this is my opinion, okay? Don't take it otherwise. If somebody is without starting the work, if somebody is looking for a help, right? So means that he don't have or she don't have a confidence himself or herself. I know there are challenges. See, even though people working in an industry from 10 years, 12 years, 14 years, 15 years, right? Don't say that they are 100% correct. Nobody is perfect in this world. They do analyze, they do find the data from some other source. We have a Google, we have a YouTube. There are many platforms available to take a help. You are free to do that. You are looking for other person to help you. It means that what? You don't have a confidence. First you start. Automatically everything will fall in place. Once you start your work, right, you will get involved in that. Once you get involved in that, definitely I'm sure that you will find out the answers. First, you have to involve yourself. Everything will fall in place. It's a ML project, not a DL1. And no extensions will be provided. Just imagine, right? As I said, this is a real-time project. Imagine that it's a real-time project. You cannot ask a client to extend the deadline. If you ask client to extend the deadline, next time he will not give you a project. He will look for some other company and you will be in the trouble. You will be moved out of the project. You will be on a bench or somewhere. We don't know. There are a lot of consequences. You cannot request client to extend the deadline. Just keep that in mind. You can use any of the tools, anything. We are not restricting here. Any models, any libraries you can import. First, you finish this project, Capstone project, the upcoming projects and all you'll get to know. You can use any, as I said, any library, any module. It's up to you. See, only one point you need to understand. As I said, we really not concerned which library you are using, which SQL you are using, which module you are importing. See, what all we want is to achieve those results, what make those analysis, create those clusters which will show that the sensitive areas, moderate areas, and peaceful areas. We don't care how we are going to achieve. Client really don't care. He don't know ABCD of the code. All he wants is the result. You cannot ask client that, okay, I'm going to use this. He says, that's up to you. Why are you telling me? I have a lot of things to take care. I cannot assist you anything. I don't know ABCD of the technical skills. You do whatever you are doing. I'm giving you, I'm paying you for the service. You give me the service. That's all he says. They are not our relatives or any person. They will give us sympathy on us, right? It's our responsibility how we are going to give the project. I mean, solution to that project. The report at the end of the project. Last date of the project will be 3 weeks from now. I think we have this here itself we have. So due date you can see here, right? 23rd April. You can see, right? Here itself it is mentioned. Right? You can start immediately. Any questions other than Capstone project will not be answered. Any questions other than Capstone project, you can raise a ticket. All right. Yes, Amit, it is, you need to build machine learning projects, as I mentioned. As I mentioned, for each phase, you need to have a separate Jupyter file. That's what I mentioned. I highlighted that point. So I'm telling you, you may find it is a little harsh, but this is the truth in any project, any company. Until unless you don't prove yourself, nobody is going to help you. Okay, it is better to practice that so that you will not face similar situation when you start working. All right. And for sure, it is not easy. It looks easy when you start collecting the data, trying to merge the files, your head will break. And we want you to break your head and collect the proper and quality data and merge the right data from different files. So you have to do a lot of research, and this is how you are going to trust me. If you do it on your own, this project, right, nobody can stop you, and take my word. So I think we have answered all the questions. When I open zip file, it shows error. Please raise a ticket. Okay. What else? I think again, I'm repeating this in case you are in a confusion about the data, in case you are in a confusion about accuracy of the data, data collection related. Make your best judgment. Make your best judgment and give the reason. How did you arrive to that number? I have given one example how you can basically estimate future data, right? We will work on given file, or we need to search, or both? Yeah, both. You are, Himanshu, you already have some file that we have given, and you also need to collect the data. And where it is necessary, depending upon the requirement, you have to merge and use. So if the files are not, if you're not able to download for any reason, if it's showing some kind of error, take a screenshot and raise a ticket. We'll forward it to the concerned department and get it solved. Okay, so I think, okay, one more, okay. Okay, we'll give a couple more minutes for any questions, then we'll wind up this discussion. These 3 weeks are very crucial for you, even though you are working professional or you're already working on some other project and all. Somehow you have to find a time, right? And put your effort as much as possible, right? It is for your benefit. And So the short time, I always like this uh, slogan, we can say, short term pain, a long term gain. All right. So that's all. I believe in that. All right. I think there are no more questions left. So thank you, everyone, and I wish you all the best and put your effort, sincere effort, and submit your final version of that files as mentioned, and we'll evaluate, and the result will be reflected in your LMS. Okay, so no worries about that. All right, and thank you, thank you. I hope this session is helpful. And once again, good luck, guys, and thank you.